Hello, thank you for joining me from outside the box. Today we're going to be talking about human evolution and what we are. So let's get right into it. Homo sapien. When I looked up Homo sapien on the internet, the synonym for Homo sapien was human being. But then I looked up the word Homo sapien. Homo meaning man, sapien meaning thinking. That can't be synonymous with human being, because when I looked up humane, under humane it said generous, considerate of others, and that is not synonymous with Homo sapien. So we are Homo sapiens, but we're not human beings. When I looked up the word holy people on the internet, and then I press images, you got these illustrations of people with auras around, with gold auras around their head. I said, that's not holy people. Those are human beings. So human beings, you have to reach a certain state of consciousness. One where you think outside of yourself and you're considerate of others. When we come into this world, as selfish Homo sapiens. We are considered animals, or mammals to be exact, which is a form of animal. And like other animals, are selfish, survival. You can think of survival, not outside of yourself. So, humanity is being instilled in us, hopefully, by our parents as we're growing up. We're being domesticated. Just like you would domesticate a dog that you would bring into your home. I know that sounds a little blunt, but actually, when you think about it, that's what's happening. If you ever look at two little kids playing with each other, they don't know how to share. You often have to break them up and teach them these things. You don't come into this world knowing these things, to think outside of yourself. So human beings are what we should strive to be, or what we need to strive to be. That would be the next step in evolution, because the next step in evolution is not going to take place physically. We have evolved as far as we could evolve within the ecosystem that we live in. The next step in evolution is going to take place in the mind, because the body cannot evolve without the mind. According to fossil records, 6 million years ago, our ancestors were walking around on planet E. The Pleistocene epoch, which began 2.6 million years ago and ended 11,700 years ago, also known as the last ice age. Somewhere between 2 million years ago and 1 million years ago, Homo erectus had learned how to create and harness fire. 200 to 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens showed up. What are we? Why are we here? What is to become of us? Religion, science? Are we alone? And what ties it all together? The questions that began when I was 9 years old. The journey begins now, from outside the box. Hello, welcome to From Outside the Box. Before we can continue, if you could please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it. Civilization is said to have existed for 6,000 years, but the evidence shows that it is much, much older than that. We were taught prior to civilization in Mesopotamia, people were hunter-gatherers, but this couldn't be further from the truth. There are too many complex systems in place. Ancient Sumer had kings, nobles, scribes, priests. It had a government that was a democracy / monarchy. This type of structure doesn't happen overnight. Göbekli Tepe, a structure or temple located in southern Turkey, is dated to be 12,000 years old, with parts of it dated as far back as 14 to 15,000 years. The reason why the archaeologists are calling this a temple is because that there were no human remains found at the site, and when they checked the nearby countryside, they found that there were settlements there. I am not willing to agree with this because the site is only partially excavated, and so until they excavate the whole thing, the jury is out. Another interesting site is Baalbek in Lebanon. The ancient city, they say, was built by the Phoenicians. This site is 9,000 years old, which puts it back to 7,000 BCE. This predates Sumeria by roughly 3,000 years, which creates a little bit of a problem since the Phoenicians were around from 1550 to 300 BCE. There are stone blocks weighing from 1,200 to 3,000 tons, the largest in the world. There is one building block which is said to be 64 feet in length, 19.6 feet in width, and 18 feet in height. It weighs 1,650 tons, which equals 3,300,000 pounds. I mean, 3,300,000 pounds. How were they moving these things around? I don't know. But they definitely weren't pulling it on the end of a rope. As we head over to Egypt, we're going to take a look at two mysterious structures. One is the Great Sphinx, which is said to be at least 4,500 years old, with a new theory with it possibly being 9,000 years old due to the erosion that they find around the structure. Another mysterious structure we're going to look at is the Great Pyramid, which is said by Herodotus, who was a Greek historian, that when he went to Egypt, the people there, he asked the people who built this, and they said it was built by the order of Khufu. The problem that I have with that is that the Great Pyramid has 2,300,000 limestone granite blocks, weighing an average of 5 tons each, which is about 10,000 pounds. The nearest quarry with these stones is 434 miles away. Herodotus was told that it took 20 years to build this structure from. I don't see how these people built this structure in 20 years. The architectural genius that went into building these pyramids, it couldn't have been done by these people. The point that I'm making in this video is that we have structures from thousands of years ago that we don't understand how it was done, and that was so technologically advanced that we think it's some simple primitive way that it was done. But if you look at today, there is an island. You have the Sentinelese Island. And on this island, we have a tribe of Sentinelese that are dated back 60,000 years ago. And then we have man out on a space station. So we still have a very primitive tribe on one end of the spectrum. And then we also have man living on a space station. What's to say thousands of years ago, you didn't have that same thing going on? People that were so technologically advanced, and also a people that were very, very primitive. Just something to think about. Well, you might be thinking, what does reality have to do with human evolution? And the answer is, we have created something much worse than a Gordian knot, and together we must untangle it. You know, reality has been manipulated on so many levels, and you know, it's time to start dealing with it, and it's time to start dealing with the truth. And we have to take responsibility and not place blame on others to say, well, you know, government this and that. We ourselves continue to manipulate reality because we live in our own individual reality. And that's okay to be an individual, but when it starts to infringe on others, then that's when it's not okay. And that way we cannot evolve. We cannot go beyond what we are now. And if we don't go beyond what we are now, at some point there is going to be a reboot. And we'll have to do this all over again. Already you can start to see the devolution in things. We as a people need to choose to evolve, not to wait for others to tell us what to do. We have to make the conscious decision, the choice to evolve, to become hive-minded. You know, just because you're hive-minded, it doesn't mean you lose your individuality. You can still have your individuality. It just can't infringe on your neighbor, on others. Once you infringe on your neighbors, you become cancerous. And, you know, that's not good. You know, that's destructive. So we need to, like I said, we can be individuals and also be hive-minded at the same time. I could talk on this topic all day. As a matter of fact, I would like to. You know, if you would please leave a comment below. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. And if you would like to have a live stream, you know, for me to go, you know, have a live stream and discuss this further, I would love to. You know, just let me know in the comments below. Again, please smash that thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for joining me from outside the box.